everyone, Argsy here. Welcome to another look at Farming Simulator 25. In this video we're going to take a look at the construction and landscaping tools, figure out what's changed since the previous version of Farming Simulator, what might be new, what's different, and just generally how we go about doing some of the different buildings, and even taking a look at what buildings are available. So let's dive on in and take a look. So to start things off, let's bring up the build menu. Shift P is the tool that will do that for you, and we get a good overview here of where we are. You can see me standing right there. Now, one of the huge improvements is just how far you can zoom in and out. FS22 had some limitations where you might be able to zoom out maybe this far. If you got a building that was too large, you couldn't actually pivot around and see exactly how big it was. But now there's definitely some big improvements there, and it does make it a lot easier to place some of the buildings by having that much mobility and that much ability to move in and out. So taking a look here at the build menu, you can see down the bottom, or on the left hand side, sorry, we've got 5 different categories. So we've got all our sheds and buildings, we've got our factories, production, sell points, all those kind of things, all our different animal pastures, decoration, fences, lights, and what was the third one? Others, just a general one there. And down the bottom is our sculpting, so all our landscaping tools. So we'll just dive through and take a little bit of a look through here. We've got a huge selection of sheds on this first tab. Just all of the way down through them. Just look at the variety there. A lot of old favorites that have come back from previous versions of the game, and some new ones in there as well. A good variety of sheds, and it does look to me like they might have made a lot more of the static sheds, the decorative sheds that we've seen around on maps, actually make them functional. Things like this you might have previously seen used as a decorative shed. I do think this one might have come from Zelonka, not 100% certain on that, but there is a good range of sheds in there, and that's kind of consistent throughout the whole lot. We can see our silos there, and good value and prices as well. Silos give their capacity down there on what they can store, so starting off there at 75,000 litres, going up through 150, 400,000 litres, 800,000 litres, then into our standalone bins, bigger silo complexes. What's this one? 16 million litres of storage here in this one, and this is one of those cases where, isn't it great being able to zoom all that way out and see exactly what it is you're placing and where it's going to be. Object storage, and of course we will be working frantically once we can with the editor and things like that's released to bring our Anywhere Object Storage mod into Farming Simulator 25, but all sorts of things, silos, bunkers, we've even got a liquid manure tank there as well, and underneath that. And to go with that, of course, is the extensions, so you can add additional silos next to your existing ones to extend your storage even further if it wasn't enough. Constructables, this covers off all the buildable houses, so we saw these in one of the blogs recently. We've got farmhouse 1, 2, farmhouse 3, farmhouse number 4, 5, and then onto the farmhouse. In fact, what are those numbers? I'm a little bit confused now. Buildable log cabin. I get a little bit tricked here where I click on something and then as I drag over it, so I can click there and then I drag out and it actually tells me it's farmhouse 3 even though I haven't clicked on it, so just hovering over it will tell you what it is. Here we go for farm garage 1, 2, 3 and farm garage number 4. Now these are all the buildable buildings that you can bring materials to, and they will be built over time. We'll take a look at some of those and might even look at building one just to see what's involved with those. Containers, diesel storage, different storage for other items. This is a silo that can be filled with commodities, things like your seeds. We've got some liquid fertilizer silos, freshwater tank, and a fertilizer smooth wall silo there from Meridian. And then we've got an old wind wheel with a water tank as well, so you can get some water from that. Tools, we've got the weather station, improves the weather forecast available to your farm. Now I don't know what detail that will actually bring. That's quite an interesting one. We've seen these for precision farming before, and also to help improve your worker accuracy, but not one that works with weather. Maybe it reduces the chance of having a twister storm through your area, or gives you more time to react. Karacha pressure washer, I've got an electric charging station for your electrical equipment, vehicle workshops, way station, smaller way station, so some nice little tools in amongst there. And then lastly is all the different farmhouses of different sizes and different shapes and different varieties, so a good selection there under those. Moving down into the next tab, we'll start out here with looking at the factories, BGA plants. Now the beauty of these is that we've got different sizes and different capacities, so 99 kilowatt, 250 kilowatt, or the 500 kilowatt BGA there. Now those will take things like your cut sugar beets, You've got your, not digestate, it's slurry, manure and silage will go into those. And of course the outputs is digestate, propane and your electricity charge. A lot of the familiar ones we've had previously from FS22, we've got bakery, a carpenter, the cement factory is a new one of course. We've talked about that in a previous video, but a little bit disappointed to see this. It only takes stones to convert into either cement bags, roof tiles or into concrete blocks. Cereal factory of course we've had previously, dairy, a grain mill, a great processing unit, an oil mill, paper factory, it's a little bit of a new one, with a sawmill there. Sawmill, well, this difference here is just the size, and they do slightly different things. This one does one more fill type. I'm not familiar with what that second one is down there on the bottom, maybe furniture or something like that. This one only does the first four. To figure out what that is, we've got the spinnery there, takes wool and cotton to make your fabric, sugar mill, of course, cut sugar beets, sugar cane or normal sugar beet to make sugar. Tailor shop there takes the fabric in to make clothing. We've got a debris crusher. This will take goods and transform them into different products. Interesting, it doesn't actually say what goods it will take and what it will transform them into. The cooper there will make barrels of different sizes and different shapes with some wood. The rope maker, again using wool and cotton, a little bit of an interesting selection there. I'll be interested to see how long before we see some modded crops which might be a bit more appropriate for using for making rope. A larger tailor shop there, so if we just pop back up to the one we had before, got a tailor shop there which is $240,000, and we can come down to this larger tailor shop which is also $240,000. We have two different looking ones. There's no difference, just no price difference, just the way they look. With a bakery, potato processing, another dairy, reserved food, soup factory, bakery, spinnery, reserved food factory, all sorts. Then we get into some of these smaller ones, and I like the addition here of the smaller ones. In fact, pop back up here and see this bakery, $36,000, reserved food factory at $36,000. So these are just little, kind of more boutique-y, I guess, playing on the fact of setting up a farmer's market using the farmer kiosk to produce products in smaller quantities, making productions more accessible to early farmers, so you can actually get in and do some of these things. You know, if you had a dairy herd like this with just 3 cows in it, it wouldn't be worth having the big expensive dairy to process your milk into cheese and things like that, but certainly with a smaller dairy it would. Smaller grain mill, we've got a smaller grape processing unit, oil mill, all sorts of sawmill there, there's another spinnery, sugar mill, and the tailor shop. So plenty of options there in your factories. Now if you look back on one of our previous videos, we did look into what the productions are built into the map and the way those are integrated, so go and take a look at that, because the way the productions work in FS25 and the way that you can visualize them and track them, I think is a great improvement on FS22. Remember, of course, it was the first time we saw those in FS22, so great to see some progress there across iterations of the game. Again, selling points, we're not going to go through all of these. We've got the piano manufacturer though, biomass heating plant, but these come in different sizes. So we have a smaller biomass heating plant, only takes loose straw and wood chips, whereas this one will take bales and trees as well. Small debris crusher, a slightly bigger debris crusher, the smaller farmer's kiosk, bigger farmer's kiosk, and the farmer's market. So again, depending on the scale of your farm, you can do some of those things. Greenhouses of various different sizes. The first one here is just for the rice saplings, and then we get into a small tarp, medium tarp, large tarp, and these produce the 7 different crops you see down there. Chilies, I think it's garlic, isn't it? Lettuce, cabbage, strawberries, sorry, it's garlic, spring onion, garlic, and tomatoes. And we have those in different sizes. Got a small glass greenhouse rather than the tarp covered one, so again, slight variation on those. These just require water though, so no requirements for seed or fertilizer or anything like that to grow anything, purely water. And then we've got the mushroom greenhouse, which produces the 2 different types of mushrooms and 3 different sizes. Tabbing through again into our cultivation category, we have our grapevines, our olive grove, and of course the new feature, which is the rice field, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit more detail. And then lastly on this tab we have generators. We've got wind generators and solar panels as well, on various different sizes, and these will all give you a regular monthly income as you see down there. I do believe these are relative based on wind, and solar panels react to how much sunlight you get, so interesting to see that there. Moving on into the animal area, so we can see our cow pastures of different sizes, and this is all done across the top by animal type. So we'll go through. We've got sort of a small cow pasture just for 7. That's the one we've got here in the background. And then you can go up 35, 99, or 50 in that one. So a couple of variances there on the 2 different cow barns. 96, 93. Now we'll get into that as well, because the pasture can be customized, and the pasture seems to have an impact on how many cows you can have. So the more pasture area you have, the bigger they can be. Horses, once again, much the same there. We've got horses 11, smaller one, 9, actually cheaper as well. 13, 16 and 16 horses in there. You can see some of the food the horses require as well. Things like sorghum, carrots, parsnip, red beets. Pigs, 5 different options there for the pigs. 36, 50 pigs, 25 pigs, 109 or 275 if you're really feeling adventurous. Sheep, 4 different options for the sheep. I do believe the sheep and goats will use the same one as well, and likewise with the cattle pasture. Cow pasture, you can use both cows and the water buffalo into those. Whether you can mix them, we will go and look at that at some stage. Chicken pastures, or chicken pens, 31, 30, 20, 20, 20, 20, and 360. So some smaller ones, right up to a big one there as well. Bees, some nice changes here to the style of beehives, some different variants in those, and then of course the pellet location, which you do need to have to spawn your honey pellets. And finally, the often forgotten and well-loved doghouse. Again, it'd be nice to see a little bit of a change there with this. I don't know what our dog looks like. I haven't actually even looked at the dog. Maybe we just need to go plot one of these down. Could be our first example of how to place something. Now, of course, we've got our toggle free mode and toggle snapping up the top there. If I just press B, we can turn off free mode, so we can actually place this a little bit closer. Won't flatten the ground or anything around it. We've actually got a restricted area there, so I don't just have to put it close. And there we go. There is our little dog. Well, not so little dog. And we do have a little bit of a change. It looks a bit more like a golden retriever or something like that, doesn't it? Taylor. There we go. We've got Taylor some food. Dog roll on the side there. Got Taylor's ball. Bit of throw. Oh, look at that. I did hear that throwing wasn't working, and it appears that my right arm is a little bit weak. Anyhow, we'll leave Taylor there, and we will go and look a little bit further through some of these build menu options. So carrying on from animals, we've got all the decorative objects and a huge selection of fences. Fences are fantastic the way these have been changed, and we'll take a look at how the fence building works, but look at that selection of fences, huge variety. And we've got the same in lights. I'm going to scroll back up the other way, but huge selection there in lights. And lastly, we've got others, so things like garden sheds, tool sheds, some decorative water towers and windmills, wind wheels, decorative grain bins and things like that. So perfect for those who like to build their farms and come through and decorate up, add some of this sort of more intricacies, more of the detail in the back of the farm. Down the bottom here, we've actually got some constructible sheds as well. So we come to this one. Comes as a kit, must first be assembled. You need to deliver the required materials to the construction site. Purely a decorative object. I think we've got one of these on the farm here in the starting farm for Riverine Springs. So we're going to take a look at that. And then last but not least, of course, is our sculpting. And let's just go and have a look down here. We're just going to head right down the end and see what we can do with the sculpting. So we've got options there to raise, lower, level, soften, and slopes. The same as we've had previously. But if we just take a look there at our controls, you can see we've got option there. We can lower with the right click. We can raise with the left click. We can change the cursor shape. Let's go through square or round. So obviously, depending on what shape you have, depends on how it reacts. You can go through and change the strength. So, and that will change the color. So a stronger strength will react quicker to your clicks, versus a weaker strength will not act quite so quick. So you can be more fine with the weaker click, and if you want to increase the strength, you can do that. And we can also go through and change the brush size. So if you're wanting to do a big area, just about cover half that field in one go, and take it right back down to that size. Change back to a round one. See, also there as an option. So again, pretty easy to use. I can't see any option there to undo. Now that was something people had hoped and thought maybe with the ability to undo the rice paddies that we saw, there might have been an undo option here for this, but unfortunately there isn't. So let's come through here, we'll do a little bit of a raise in there. Looks all very messy. So once we've raised it, we can actually go through and level. So if we wanted to level off at this height, left click, and that will bring everything up and create a bit of a flat platform. Now I've got the strength set up very high, so this is all very exaggerated, but you can do that a little bit differently. Slope is a valuable tool if you're working on the side. So you come in here, you can right click and set your slope target. So if we wanted to slope up to the top of there, we'd right click and we'd slope to the point. So we'd come down here, left click, and we'd go up, and it's going to slope up to that point. Make everything nice and flat, or pretty well sloped. And then the last one through here that we're just going to look at is soften. So soften will basically do what it says and mellow off the edges, round them off, make it a bit smoother, more tangible, easier to navigate. If you do some landscaping, makes it look just that little bit nicer. So it does go through and soften. So that is the landscaping in a very quick nutshell. Now across the sculpting, we've also got our painting options. Now this map has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 different texture options in there. If we just go through, have a look with animal mud, asphalt, concrete, dirt, forest ground, grass, gravel, rock, cobblestones, flagstones. So those are the options there for painting. Once again, you can come in here and change your brush size. You can change your cursor shape depending on what you want to do. So that will go up there and react to whatever it is you are painting on. Interesting looking textures there, nice variety, but they're very limited. I'm sure we will see some maps coming out with more options there for painting textures. Trees, again, as we've heard, huge selection in trees in there. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different tree options. A large Tilla amaranthus, very big tree, look at that. So we can change the tree size down, and this is the different options. So we can start off right down there at a little one, a little bit bigger, which this is a nice feature to have there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes of trees, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each one does appear 2, 3, 4, 5 to have 5 different options. So again, that is going to create some great options there for doing your custom building. Just being able to come through and do some things there. The other feature, you can press B and it will randomly rotate it to different angles. So if you're placing 3 of them and 4 of them in a row, you can press 1, you can come through and randomly rotate it so it doesn't look the same. We can come through and do something with the size, make it a little bit bigger, maybe put a big one in there, randomly rotate that. So there's some great features there. We'll go down and have a look at all of that. Exited the whole way up, but yeah, some great features in there for being able to plant some trees. Go and have a quick look down there. As you can see, walking up over this, while we did have a good ramp before, it's now nice and smooth and really mellowed out, so you can play around with those as you like. Now one of the key things, because there is no undo button, like I always like to do, is hit the save button before you do any landscaping. Make sure you don't have autosave turned on, and then go through and do your landscaping. If something doesn't work the way you like it, you can quite easily go back and undo. So just carry on our look here. Once we've got through trees, you can come through here and see our different plants. We've got meadow, 3 different types of meadow, different sizes I think. Just pop in here and have a quick look. So we've got short meadow, kind of a medium meadow grass, and a little bit of a taller one. We've got different bushes, bush, all just probably going to be called bush, but just some different options there and what you might want to plant. So simple click will do that. Now it's nice to see, actually previously you might have seen that once you did this in the grass it would take out a huge chunk of grass. Interesting. I wonder why I can't place the plant there. It looks like it's doing it, but it's not. I wonder if I don't own that piece of land. There you go. Maybe I just needed to drag it around. There you go, you do. So it's just happening to be hitting the spot where it wouldn't build. So maybe a little bit of dragging, and you can actually hold the button down and drag and sort of paint a big section of those. So yeah, there you go. That is all the options there in your landscaping, your sculpting, painting, your trees and your plants. And one thing to point out, while you are in any of these options, you can press B and that will bring up the demo option. So if you wanted to get rid of some things, it doesn't look like you can demo trees you've planted or anything like that, but if you want to come down and remove a shed that's on your site, you've got an option there. You can click on it. Do you want to sell it, yes or no? So that's a nice little option there. Of course, that's something we've always had. You've also got the option there to select things. So if you want to come and select that, it tells you about it. So you could rename it to whatever you want to call it. I don't know, man cave. That's our man cave down the back. It tells you the value of it and how old it is. So now if you come back in here, it would be called the man cave. Not so practical for something like that, but when you've got lots of animal pastures, being able to rename animal pastures is quite a good option. So that's all done. Let's go through and have a look at some of the other ways we can build. We went through and had a look at all the sheds. We're just going to start off here with the shed. Now, a number of them have some different options. So you can see there, we've got our option to place item, left click. We can toggle our modes off. So we're currently not on free mode. If we were to do that, you can see there, the value changes by $1. Now that will mean that when it's on, when free mode is off, it's obviously allowing to just landscape by leveling off a little bit of ground or doing something just to flatten it off. It may be because we're doing this on a textured area with the deformable plowed terrain, it might be wanting to level that off, but that would be a surefire sign that you've got the right setting. Now if you didn't have that turned on, you might be running the risk of placing that down and it's not quite level and you don't have a level entry into it. And there was a warning that popped up when I first turned toggle free mode off. It seems to have disappeared and not come back though. We've got our snapping for our rotation, so that's not snapped, or it is snapped, and then we've got more of a smooth free rotation there. So lots of snap angles on this building, which is good. Some only have limited 1990, particularly bunker silos, because of the way they handle the grass and chaff when it's put in there, but this one does have a good selection. You also see it is snapping across, so a really fine movement actually. That's nice to see. So that is that. What else is there? Customization. So some sheds have some customization options. So if I just hit F, come through here, and you can see we've got an option to add solar panels on. It does add a cost there of $18,000, but I imagine those will provide an income to you. So if you wanted to add some cost into your project, but potentially earn some regular income off it, that is an option there. Now, some are meant to have a option to change color, and I haven't actually managed to come across any that do that. So I'm just going to jump back in here. We have placed that shed, haven't we? No, we haven't. It had locked down because we were on that customization. So once again, go to customization, hit escape to exit out of the customization option, and then you've got the option there to come through and place it. Advanced controls, that is right click, is our rotate as well. Just plonk that down there. You can see it's landscaped a little bit further out and around the edges. Go down and have a quick look. And there we go. That's pretty nice. They're very nicely, well detailed. Rest. Right. Got the detail there with the brackets. You can see the nails in the end. Why the timber's cut short from the brackets. Yeah. Good to see. Good to see some detail going into this. Well, so there we go. I think that's a good summary of the build menu, and the changes to the landscaping tools, the changes to the build menu, and how it's all laid out, how it's configured, some of the new features there, being able to zoom in and out a very, very long way once you're in this setting, having a good look around, and just some of the ways that things have changed in terms of when you've got something, the snapping and that, all very, very similar, but even just some of the customization options. Probably haven't picked the best objects there to be able to find some customization, but like I said, come in here, you can do that with the shed. So yeah, really nice to see some of those changes. Now we will dive into the animals as well, so let's just go and have a quick look here. I don't actually have a huge amount of money left. In fact, we don't have much at all, so I think we might just have to reset and get that fixed. Alright, let's have a very quick look now at the cows and what we can do with our pastures. So we're just going to start off with the cheap one here. This one only has space for 7 animals, but we're going to come over here, find out where it places. So you can see, in fact, if we do it over on these this field here, you can see we've got the fence edges there. So I'm just going to come through and do it on an angle here, back onto this. When we come in and place it, now we've got free motors off, we've got snapping on. There's no way we can customize, so we can come in here and place that. But once we've placed it, we get asked, do you want to customize the fence for cow pastures? And we are going to say yes. So now you can see we've got these 2 green markers either side of the shed. So what you can see there, we've got our fence has started to extend out from this right hand side. I was trying to get it to start on the left hand side there of the green. So you can see we've started off from here. So we can go as far as we want. Now bear in mind, when we started off this cow pasture, it capacity for 7 animals. So we're just going to have a quick look. So we can place an edge there, come all the way down here. Now we'll get a warning there, areas restricted, land's not owned by you, so we can't go through and do that. We can make this pretty much any shape we want. This could be as wild, as crazy. You can do as many segments as you want. All sorts of wild and wacky crazy ideas out there. Just about till your heart is content, you can come up with ideas. Bring it back over here and you can see it has snapped to that green pole, and that will be finishing it. Do you want to plant the meadow for cow pasture? Yes, we do. And there we go. We now have a nice big green meadow, a little bit of an interesting shape there for our cow pasture. We can come in here, we can go through and select it with our right click, and we're going to rename this cow pasture 2, just to remember what one it is. And then we've got this one over here, just rename this as cow pasture 1. Of course, you can give that whatever name you like. Now the reason we've done that is we're going to go and have a look in the animal menu and see if we've actually got more than 7 capacity in here. Alright, let's walk on up here. We're going to the animal trigger. You can see we're in cow pasture 2. Now if we pop that up, see, we've actually got space there for 18 animals to be in this pasture. So we started off at 7, but we do have space for 18 now. So we'll go through and buy some of those, go okay with them. Let's scroll all the way down and get some small water buffalo, just to say we've got a couple. There we go, we'll buy those as well. Now, see those little fellas, little lasses all running around in there. Come in here, we can scroll through between our cow pastures. Have a look at those. Now it doesn't actually say the 1 and 2 up there. I don't know whether that's because of the length of the name. We could probably try and change that, but you can see there we do have our different 2 different pens. So nice to see, easy to customize. Now that can be done with a number of different options. We just jump back up in here, come through. Probably going to run out of money, but you can see again, place this. Do you want to customize the horse pasture? We're going to say no for this one. Do you want to plant the meadow? We're going to go no. And instead, we just now get a horse pasture in there with no meadow, no grass, no customization. So we've just got the bog standard square pasture for those. Likewise, we can come through. So we've got sheep. We can plant that one down. Do you want to customize the fence? Yeah, let's do that really quickly. It's going to give these a small little fence. You want to plant the meadow? Yeah, of course we do. They don't get a meadow, they get a bit of a pigsty, really. And do the same through here for our sheep as well. Kind of running out of space. There we go, place that down, customize the fence for the sheep. Running out of money for that one. But there we go. Cancel creation, yeah, we'll just reset to the default outline and we'll plant the meadow as well. So there you go. We can go through and customize all of those if we've got the money to do it. Even chickens, don't have enough money to try that one out. We'll just have to safely assume that we can. In fact, we'll figure out a loan and test that out as well. There we go, got some money now. Place the chicken one down. So the chicken one isn't actually customizable, or if it is, that one wasn't. So let's just see, can we find somewhere we can put this one? Yeah, no, that one's not either. So perhaps the chicken ones aren't customizable, but at least the cattle, horses, pigs, and sheep pens all are. So here we go. That is a look there at those options in the build menu. So another big change in the build menu is the way fences are handled in FS25. Now we've just come over to a different field just to take a look at this. Now some of the fences, I'm just going to click on one for example. See out the top here when you're in the build menu, it tells you it's got different segment types. Well, that is because the fencing gate is all integrated into one, and you can draw basically your fence, come across and click there. We're actually now going to use N or M and change to put a gate in. So go far enough across, it's going to put the gate in. Then we can go and change back to doing a fence if that's what we want to do. Maybe change again, put another gate in, and everything is all tidily handled, and you don't have to try and line up gates and fences and things like that to work the way it would previously. One of the other great things is I can actually press H. I didn't want to do the fence there. I can go all the way back to the very first segment and delete those, so you can actually sort of build your fence and go, actually, I know I'm not happy with that, and restart it. Now, not all the fences have segments. For example, that one doesn't show up with one. Sort of click through and you'll see which ones do and which ones don't. Where's another one? There we go. This one's got one of two. There's one down here I was finding before. The picket fence, the wooden Gothic fence as it's described, actually has 5 different options. So you can do different size gates. So small person gate, slightly bigger gate, larger automatic gate, and a really big gate. before being back to the fence. So some pretty cool options there. Which other ones do? Yeah, 5 segments there, 4 in that one, 2 in that one, 3, so forth and so on. So yeah, just go through 7 different options on this one for fences and gates. You got the stays, in fact that's a corner, so it's doing a corner, the small gate, different gate, different gate, different gate, big gates, back to the fence. So yeah, pretty interesting actually to see exactly what this is going to do. Very cool. So yeah, I do like that. Another new feature there in the build menu for doing the fencing. I'm just testing out the olives and grapes as well because they use a similar system to the fencing. It's going to throw down some grapes. We can of course put the snapping on for that. Interestingly that the keybinds for these change depending on what you're doing. That one was R for snapping. But no, there's no option there to right click to undo the previous one. I'm assuming because you probably want to draw these in parallel straight lines all the time rather than have kinks in them, because the harvester won't work on a curved or kinked row of vines. So there we go, no options there for those, but they are still built in pretty much exactly the same way. So I think that pretty much covers everything we've got in the build menu, the construction and landscaping tools for Farming Simulator 25. Let me know what you think, what part of that you're most looking forward to. For me, I'm pretty excited to hear about the customizable pastures, and once again we might go into these in just a little more detail, actually looking at some of the animals and what their food requirements and things like that are. I'm sure if we don't, someone definitely will, so keep an eye out for some videos coming out on Farming Simulator 25 animals. There will be plenty. Otherwise, pretty excited about all of these options. Some great options there for the customization. I like the little addition of the solar panels. I thought that was quite a neat little touch. A little bit disappointed again that there is no undo button for the landscape, and I know that has been a huge request for a number of people in the community, and while Giants have listened on a number, I'm guessing that technically may have just been a bridge too far for them. So we'll just have to suck it up and just accept that for what it is. It is what it is, and make sure you use that technique of saving before you do any landscaping, because it is a good way to save your bacon. Anyhow, that is enough for this one. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you do, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. But again, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.